Welcome to the world of insider trading. We're just making hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody cares. No investigations. It's great. It's amazing. We live in the greatest timeline known to mankind. What else could you possibly say? Um, it could be three things, but the timing is very suspect. So I guess we'll jump right in, right? October 10th, the day, the day people lost their shit. So Trump drops an absolute bomb, a nuke, and he says he's going to tariff China 100% on everything and complete embargo pretty much starting November. And this is because China slapped export restrictions on rare earth minerals. It's all the shit that goes into your phone, the military tech, pretty much everything. Basically telling America to go fuck itself on all those supply chains. So the same day, Trump, in his infinite wisdom, fires back and the markets fucking implode. Classic. So the S&P was down a couple percent in hours. Billions are evaporating and shit. People are freaking out. Amazon has lost over, I think, 100 billion in value. For them, it's pocket change, but that's fine. Nvidia got crushed for close to 200 billion. And big tech was bleeding everywhere because all these companies are completely addicted to Chinese manufacturing and all their materials. So the whole thing gets crazy here, though. And that's what everyone was talking about, where it turned into pretty much the most obvious form of insider trading, fucking straight scam that you could possibly see. So the crypto markets, of course, it's highly speculative. They get absolutely annihilated. And we're talking about, I think it was almost 20 billion in liquidations, which is probably the single, I think it was by 9 times too, the single day wipe, the largest in history. And over 1.5 million of traders just gone completely. They disappeared. Bitcoin dropped something like 20,000 points and painted a giant red dildo, a candle that went down from like 120 to like 102 or something, like depending on the exchange used. And then fucking Ethereum shorts in the hundreds of millions, and altcoins already losing 60 to 70% in hours, just hours. This happened off of a tweet. So retail bros got liquidated left and right. People who even had, all you had to have really is just like 2x leverage as well, getting murdered. Their positions got closed, all their money's gone. But who's on the other side making an absolute killing, right? You had anonymous whales opening up massive short positions 30 minutes to an hour before Trump's announcement. I even read that some shorts were opened up minutes prior to the announcement. Minutes. Who has that kind of access, right? Think about that for a second here. So fresh accounts are depositing billions into stable coins right before the crash, and then immediately shorts Bitcoin. They're shorting Ethereum, XRP, everything. And within 2 hours, they're closing at the absolute bottom with profits of almost 200 million, 160 million, close to 90 million. There's multiple profits here. One whale opens over $1 billion in shorts on Bitcoin and Ethereum right before Trump speaks and makes like fucking, I don't even know how many millions of dollars. Another account created just before this, fresh accounts before this whole thing, shorts hundreds of millions 30 minutes before the announcement, then closes at the absolute bottom for close to 200 million in profit. Huh? That's not luck, bro. You're not the world's greatest trader. This isn't someone who's got like absolute exquisite timing. This is somebody who knew exactly what Trump was announcing and exactly when. So they positioned themselves to make a fortune while everyone else got slaughtered. You don't deposit $1 billion into stable coins and open shorts minutes before a major announcement unless you know what's coming. And that's the question, is who? Who had all this fucking information? Who was that? Who was in the room? Who knew the timing? Now, there's no smoking gun tying this to Trump directly. And I've seen people say this was Barron and all this stuff, and he's made 80 million and, or to Trump's family directly. The wallets are anonymous. They're offshore accounts. They're untraceable through normal means. But come on, dude. The pattern is right there in your face. Somebody with access to market moving information used it to make hundreds of millions, if not more. And Trump's son, Eric, was hyping crypto investment just a couple of weeks ago before all of this fucking shit just happened, talking about Q4 being the time to get in. And then boom, Massive wipeout liquidates retail while the whales shorted their way to generational wealth. Excuse me? Is that a coincidence? Maybe. Maybe. But we've seen this movie before with political elites, especially. So Pelosi's a great example. Everybody knows about her. She's the greatest trader to ever live. She beats all of Wall Street. She makes perfectly timed semiconductor trades right before legislation pumps those stocks. And insiders are always buying and selling at exactly the right moment. And Congress is allowed to insider trade. And when you ask questions, they'll call you crazy. They'll tell you the markets are just volatile, bro. Hey, time the market better. You just suck at trading. Except on this one, there was liquidations everywhere. And retail traders lost everything. And all the anonymous accounts are the ones making these fortunes in 2 hours. And nobody's investigating this shit? Like, no, nobody. The SEC isn't launching probes. The FBI is not tracking wallets. There's no media buzz about this. They're just covering it as normal market chaos. Oh, yeah, shit goes up, shit goes down. Trump tweeted. Why? Nobody's asking? Well, because if you pull the thread, you might find some connections leading right back to the inner circle or to Wall Street firms with political access or elite networks operating above the law. Which one is it? So now for the tariff themselves, let's get to that part real quick. And this is where it gets interesting because you got to look at what's actually happening versus what might be corruption riding alongside of it, if you could say that. Maybe there was an opportunity here. So Trump slaps massive tariffs on Chinese imports. It's absolutely the right move. Of course, we should have done this a long time ago. That's America first economics in that sense. China's been playing us for decades with all this predatory trade. They've been flooding the markets with their subsidized fucking goods, and that destroys American manufacturing back home. They steal IP. They do have a mass control on rare earth metals, and those are critical for the military tech and, you know, using that leverage to essentially fuck with us. That's what they were trying to do. So China's rare earth export restrictions are economic warfare in a sense, and they're trying to cripple our supply chains and make us dependent on them for defense materials. So Trump's response is normal. It's exactly what you'd expect from someone who actually wants to protect American interests. He tariffs the shit out of them, so high that it forces companies to move supply chains out of China, reshore manufacturing, and cut the dependency on hostile foreign powers. This is protecting America. So the conservative outlets, when you looked at the news, I saw both. The conservatives got this right. It's they call it a tariff trap. You force China to devalue their currency, which actually gives U.S. importers discounts. And then you pressure them to negotiate because, think about it, we have to bring jobs back, even if it means short-term pain. This is for the betterment of the country. And then the lefty media is losing their fucking minds. They can never give them a win anyway. So CNN is screaming recession, and the New York Times is talking about empty shelves and higher prices, and they're calling it economic sabotage. You know, and the farmers did get crushed by the soy retaliation from China. That's true. But while there is truth to that kind of shit, they do raise, at least the tariffs do raise prices in the short term. Fine. And the supply chains get disrupted. Yes, the farmers, the soy farmers specifically got screwed when China retaliates by not buying a single fucking soybean from our agricultural exports have suffered. You know, but the alternative is you keep depending and you keep letting China hollow out the manufacturing in the United States. And that causes us to be dependent on them for this, all these critical materials. And then we keep running massive trade deficits that enriches Beijing while the American workers are losing jobs, right? So long term, this is right. Even if it hurts now, this is something we have to go through. The markets will crash. Even if big tech loses hundreds of billions because they built everything on Chinese labor and material. Who cares? That's the globalist problem. That's their decades of free trade deals where American companies completely are dependent on foreign production, not the problem of the average American. They shipped those jobs overseas. They destroyed communities. And now, you know, when you try to reverse it, it's painful because, yeah, the whole system got restructured around offshoring, okay? Not the problem with the average American. Shouldn't have fucking done that in the first place. Regardless, what makes this wild and gets everybody wondering is what the fuck is actually going on? Is it, could it be that Trump's tariff announcement was genuinely about protecting American interests from Chinese aggression? How did somebody with advanced knowledge use it to make hundreds of millions shorting crypto with perfect timing, no less? They positioned themselves 30 minutes, if not less. How? You got trading patterns that are just screaming foreknowledge. These are fresh accounts, dude. This is so fucking weird. And depositing billions, no less, with that kind of confidence right before the crash, and to short it, no less, not even long. Short. You deposit to short the market? That's weird. Minutes before a public announcement. There can only be one of three possible explanations. So one of them is either someone in Trump's circle leaked it, or Wall Street firms with political connections had some advance notice somehow. Or maybe there's a third angle here, and that could be plausible, but I believe less so than the others. You never know in this world. We're in the Wild West. Some Chinese national with connections to Beijing, knew that the tariff discussions were happening and knew exactly how hard Trump was going to go, and positioned to profit off of the chaos that they knew was coming. They knew the talks were breaking down somehow. Think about it. If you're a Chinese official or a businessman with access to those high-level discussions about, say, the rare earth restrictions, you know Trump's going to respond really hard. You know the timing, right? You could easily have set up some offshore accounts, deposit some fucking crypto exchanges, right? Short the entire market before he announces, and you make hundreds of millions while also helping crash American markets as a bonus. Fuck you. That could be possible. That's economic warfare combined with some personal enrichment, and that it fits the pattern perfectly there. Anonymous wallets, offshore accounts, perfect timing. Nobody can fucking trace it back because crypto is designed for that kind of anonymity, and you can wash that money actually pretty easy unless you get the FEC or the SEC, and the feds involved, the FBI, to actually track every single penny and ask the exchanges, and even those CX exchanges. It's really hard. If you wanted to wash it, you could, right? And if it's offshore, it gets even more difficult. So Trump's also done this tariff dance before, by the way. The pattern's already been established. You announce something dramatic, the markets fucking tank, and then you delay implementation or you negotiate some form of exemption, the market fucking rockets back. This has already happened. He's already threatened tariffs and backed off. After 90 days, he gave companies time to adjust. You remember? And if you know that kind of playbook or the pattern, if you know that this is how he kind of operates and that he might not follow through on the November deadline, you could make an absolute fortune timing both the crash and the bounce. Could be possible. And this is, again, think about it like this. It's fucking insane. By Sunday afternoon, the whole thing starts diffusing exactly like the playbook says it should, right? China comes out late Saturday and clarifies that the rare earth thing wasn't actually a full ban. It's targeted regulations with approvals for compliant applications. Basically, they're emphasizing limited impact and a desire for global supply chain stability. Walking it back, right? Saving face is what you could call it. Then Trump posts on Sunday, don't worry about China. It'll all be fine. And he says like Z was having a fucking bad moment, something like that. Are you kidding me? And then JD Vance, he was jumping in, talking about the friendship between the leaders, how Trump's willing to negotiate without needing leverage. And suddenly the fucking full-scale trade war everyone was panicking about, it's like evaporating before everyone's eyes. The market starts rebounding. Ethereum was up like 11% back to 4,000. All the analysis are now saying like the odds of November tariffs happening are somewhere under like 10%, practically zero. Classic tariff trap. You threaten something massive, markets crash, you shake out all the weak hands and all the over-leveraged positions. China blinks, then they walk back their fucking restrictions, and Trump declares victory without actually implementing the tariffs. Markets straight V-shape up with the recovery, and everyone who knew the playbook makes a fucking fortune on both sides of the trade. That's how the elite game works. Are you starting to see this shit? The retail sees the headlines, they panic hard as fuck, weak-ass paper hand it, they get liquidated, they lose everything, while the insiders who know what Trump was doing, or the exact same dance, the playbook, they know how China's always backing off, right? When the threats get hard enough, and then they know the tariffs probably won't happen anyway based on the past. So boom, you're positioned to profit on the crash and the recovery. You just have to know that the announcement was being made. Who could have been in the room? Who had access to those high-level talks? So the people that put savings into Bitcoin as an inflation hedge, maybe used a little bit of leverage here to make a bigger gain, they found out in one day it's all gone, dude. The market is still deregulated. It's still a wild west. And it crashed way harder than they were expecting. Nobody saw a 20K fucking point swing downwards. This is the life of crypto. Big gains, big losses. Everybody knows that. It shit pisses people off because some anonymous whale all of a sudden is fucking closing short positions for massive profit after 2 hours, 2 fucking hours, because they knew exactly what was coming and when. And now they're probably gone, long gone. They're probably actually not only long gone with the money, they're ballsy enough to probably go long on the recovery because they know how the playbook ends with new all-time highs once a deal gets announced. Imagine what the headlines will be. Deal is announced. The shorts timing, the profit scale, the foreknowledge pattern, the perfect execution, the world's greatest trader on both the crash and knowing when to flip near the bottom. Dude, this is corruption. And it's playing out in real time. And whether it's the tariff trap being the plan all along or just some opportunists who figure out the playbook, someone is fucking getting filthy rich off information asymmetry me and you don't have. So, yes, the situation with the rare earth shit, that's real. China controls like 70% of the market, 80% of global production. They have a monopoly on this shit. And they can cripple our tech. They really could. And our defense whenever they fucking feel like it. So Trump using the tariff threats to force them back down and reopen negotiations, it makes perfect strategic sense. But when you see over $1 billion in shorts from some fucking whale right before the announcement with fresh accounts, no less, guys, think about that, with perfect timing. And then the whole situation diffusing exactly according to the playbook right after, within 48 hours, you have to wonder if this was orchestrated chaos or some people knew the fucking script and most people didn't. Like, which is it? Big tech lost those hundreds of billions. They are recovering most of it already. Irrelevant. It's the volatility that benefits everybody. Well, I should say benefits almost nobody but those at the top with insider knowledge, right? For the rest of us, this is a distraction. We're just reading the headlines and going like, oh my God, look what happened. Crypto crash. Fuck. Ted, I was leveraged 8x on my offshore account. I was on my VPN. Fuck, dude, the wife's going to kill me. I lost my savings. It's funny and it also isn't. Like, this is the world we live in. Do you remember? Trump has the Trump coin, the Liberty coin. Then he had the Melania coin, whatever. Our president pushed pump and dump coins. He literally enriched himself already with pump and dumps. It's not looking good. It really isn't. Okay? Then you got these fucking crypto traders, dude. 87% of the liquidations were people who were long. They got obliterated while some anonymous accounts made hundreds of millions shorting. You think that's not going to piss you off? People aren't going to have questions? That's not suspicious? The perfect timing? 30 minutes or less? Nobody. Where are the fucking police? Where's this state? The feds? Where are the fucking investigations? Are the exchanges going to help track the money and tell you which whale, where the accounts are going? Of course not. And then that's like the part that hurts the most is they're probably already long. I haven't been keeping in touch with people doing like some on-chain analysis and what's going on. They're probably they longed the bottom probably and made extra money. That's what's crazy because it's a real justification. The rare earth tariff, the response, it's justified. It makes strategic sense. And China backed down exactly like you would think based on the historical precedent set with Trump. But the trading patterns are fucking wild, dude, you have to admit, right? Was this planned? Are someone really this lucky? Someone knew something and made a fucking fortune and everybody else got wrecked. Fucking wrecked, dude. What's that website in crypto that shows you like ding, 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 ding? I bet you it was going off that day. It's like some wrecked counter. It just shows people getting liquidated, right? No investigations, you guys. If this were 20 years ago, this would be getting investigated, but it's not, dude. It's just crypto. That's the Wild West. There's nothing. There's no regulatory safety. Nothing. It's complete Wild West. Anything goes. Market manipulation. No investors. None of this is illegal. None of this is illegal. Okay. I think we're starting to realize that we're in the political Wild West as well. That's what makes this shit crazy. So, I mean, that's the story I got for you guys today. We're going to do some reaction. I just wanted to cover it because I'm a day trader myself and was deep into crypto. And, I already got out this year, January. And just watching this blew me away. I probably, if I had a trade open, that 20K swing would have damn near wiped me out. So I could only imagine. I saw another guy post on TikTok, not TikTok, sorry, on X. He had $15 million account. He traded his way up to 15 million. He lost $10.5 million. He had $5 million left, and he was trying to like cope and pat himself on the back. You know, everybody's got rough days, and it's days like this I want to throw up. My stomach, my heart dropped to my stomach. I don't know what I can do about this, but I'm just going to keep trucking forward. You lost fuck you money, $10 million down. Dude, people are having a rough time. Imagine you had your life savings believing in this shit, and you had a little bit of leverage to make some extra money, and you got burned to a crisp. So I have one here. I left my phone on just to check this. There's a Ukrainian multimillionaire who took his life yesterday. He owned luxury cars that were worth in millions. But why did he take his life? That the post says. He took investors' money worth $30 million. He took max leverage and lost all 30 mil in a few seconds. What? He knew he wouldn't be able to make the money back, and he couldn't handle the pressure of the investors. Probably were going to kill his ass. What did we learn from his demise? And it's got pictures of him. He's doing like what looks like TED Talk. He's got Lamborghinis, and then there's police photos of presumably where they found his ass. It says, never invest more than you're willing to lose. Never take people's money and promise them returns. Never do futures trading. Stay low key. Imagine that, dude. You burned 30 mils in seconds with leverage. How levered up was he? Who knows? He's probably a maniac. Imagine being 50x, 100x. I don't think you can 100x at 30 mil. Maybe you can. I don't know what the limit is on the exchanges. But let's just say you were up 10, 20x. Boy, oh boy. That's all it takes. That 20K swing on a 20x leverage would have wiped your ass. So there you have it. What kind of world are we living in? Our leaders are becoming rich. Crypto is the new way to launder money and insider trade, and there's no legal ramifications against it. Gold is at a new all-time high. Silver is fucking cruising on upward. Gold and silver are ripping today. That's not great. There's no investor confidence here. Where gold is pushing up on like 4,200 an ounce, guys. That's the market speaking. We don't trust the dollar. We don't trust these economies. Assets are a little bit risky. The market's overheated. Where's your safe haven? Gold. Silver is now on a roar. Where does it end? Boy, oh boy. Let's get into some super chats.
Brandon Robinson, $20. Bo. Several friends and I were watching our crypto during that historic flash crash. However, all exchanges paused everyone from being able to buy the dip. This is not the first time that this has happened.
Of course. I hate exchanges. Name the exchanges that do that. The exchanges that do that are absolutely shit. I remember the Robinhood fiasco too, where I can't remember what stock was that was crashing. GameStop. I believe it was GameStop and something else. And people were not allowed to sell or buy. They were limiting people. That's such bullshit. Yeah, Robinhood is the worst exchange you could possibly use. Garbage. It's nice that our politicians are insider trading openly and they're getting absolutely rich while we're struggling. Was Coinbase down again during all this? Oh my Lord, dude. Of course. Don't you love it when exchanges that say they have a 99.99 rate of being online somehow always crash when it's like, God, get me in the fucking market right now. I need to buy, dude. You're just staring at a 19K red dildo on the screen. And you got the fucking timing you're right there, you can hit the buy button. Sorry, error, unexpected error, order, position not filled, error. Fuck you, you pieces of shit. They do that on purpose. It's just so crazy. I hate crypto exchanges, dude, with a passion. God, you have to be positioned perfectly. So stupid. Error, unexpected error. Order not filled. You fucker, and there's guys just making millions. So stupid. Don't put your money in any exchanges that do that shit. That's crazy. All right, we'll jump into a couple of these. Rip to the bros that lost some heavy change, dude. I know, listen to me. I know what it feels. Listen, I used to day trade crypto, guys. I got in 2017, right? 2017 was the first bull run where people were really like, they knew what the fuck it was about crypto. I was making $1,000 a day trading on top of the money that you were making from the bull market. I got into Bitcoin at $950 and Ethereum was at $34. That's when I first got into crypto. And I was trading heavy in the paint, killing it. How could you not? How could you not make money in the bull market? Just fucking long, bro. 5x, 10x, 20x like a machine. And I even bought some ICOs. That was back when Ethereum was launching all those ICOs. I bought I can't even remember what this stupid fucking ICO was. It's called something like something with an S. I don't know, whatever. That shit. I bought something like $20,000 worth of that, and it turned into $250,000. Um. Anyways, I made a killing. I got out near the highs, not at the absolute peak. And then I stayed out until the next bull run started, and I started the same shit again. And I was always doing leverage trading, always. Yeah, ICOs. I remember that. Initial coin offerings is what they were called. And I got in early on some of those. So that was the 2017 bull run. Absolutely crushed it. But I would remember, I remember back when Elon was investing in Bitcoin, like Tesla was actively buying that shit. And dude, I would wake up. I remember I had a long open and I woke up and I was up 30 G's. Do you know what an amazing day it is? How great it feels to just like, oh yeah, let me just open a long real quick, no problem. And then you wake up and like, oh, I'm up 30 racks. Oh shit, I'm up 45 racks a few hours later. Okay, let me just close this position. And the feeling is the same, bro. You put in a trade, all of a sudden you open that shit. I'm fucking shorting tomorrow. I know it's a horrible. I know that this is the peak. I'm gonna short this. I'm gonna short this. The market's exhausted. We're gonna have a little pullback here, and then it just keeps ripping. And now I'm down 45K. I'm down 70K. You win some, you lose some. You know, it's like a wild fucking ride. That's what makes trading addictive. You can get good. I was doing really well. I started with 19,000 and some change, maybe less. And in 6 months, I blew an account up to 180 and some change. And that's when I did the Spartan Challenge video for you guys around that time. And I was just showing people I had like the spell book. I always show it in the Spartan Challenge video. I have a spell book with all my day trades and like all this knowledge and market assessment and sentiment and analysis and all this shit. And, if people remember the spell book, that's where all my trades were. And every page had 10 trades. With like insane amount of detail in there. And I would have like 7 checks to 3 X's. So I had a great run, a great trading spree. And I just used the knowledge I had over the years because I started day trading in stocks in 0809 crash. I sold my Audi in high school for $5,000 when I graduated. And I started trading and I bought Citigroup when they were actively in talks about bankruptcy, and then some billionaire came and helped bail them out, chapter whatever, and the stock blew up. I think I bought it at 90 something cents and I sold for about $1.21 and I was levered up with the 5Gs and I made 5Gs and I thought my life's going to change. I'm about to be a multi-millionaire. I'm going to be on yachts with hoes and I'm a helicopter pad at my house is insane. Imagine you're fresh out of high school and you made 5 racks. You're working a part-time job at fucking, what is this auto store? I can't remember what it's called. It's like an AutoZone, basically. Some AutoZone knockoff. And I think my check every 2 weeks was maybe $250, if that. Broke as fuck. I make 5Gs, dude, in hours. So yeah. Anyways, that was a little backstory of how I got started in day trading. So I used all that information over the years. I was day trading Forex, a bunch of other stuff, options, all that. And so I made a killing when the crypto stuff started. Yeah. I know the feeling, boys. It's tough for some of the dudes that was their life savings. And, one tweet can destroy you. That's another reason I got out of the market also in January. And I thought about hopping back in and all that stuff. It's just, I don't like a market that's hard to read because motherfucking Trump, one tweet can send the market roaring up or down. And there's no fundamentals to trade off of there. There's insider knowledge only, just like today. This is the perfect example. The only way to trade consistently in a market like this is insider information. I was showing the guys in the private community, I was using AI to trade earlier this year in January before I stopped, back in December, November. And I doubled an account from 20 to 40 real quick and got it up to like 70. And I was using AI. I was going to give the guys a prompt in the private community that I was using, and I would feed the charts to the AI and have it spit out like 3 trades that it would do in a certain amount of time frame with like I guess you could call it like a percentage of confidence. And I would put in all those trades and I was winning a lot. And it was basically confirming my sentiment, and it keeps you sharp in a robotic sense, like non-emotional in trading. But yeah, I got out of the market because it takes some nuance also, and you can't actually foresee these kinds of things happening unless you're in Trump's inner circle, or you understand whatever tariff deal that's absolutely deteriorating behind the scenes, and then you could make a quick play to just make buku money, dude. Like, who knew Trump's stupid coin would come out? They bought that coin immediately and they made like fucking generational wealth. Done. Millennia coin, generational wealth. And then you dump on the normies that buy after the headlines. We're in a fucking, it's an insane market. It's not easy to trade this market. Anybody that's doing good here, good job to you. Yeah. I'm not on Nancy Pelosi's level by any means. And it does take a lot of time to do it consistently and effectively. I don't want to stare. Literally, I'd be staring at my phone every day, eating, staring at my phone, reading information, refreshing pages, nonstop. Trades open, can't sleep, checking the trades. It's addicting, dude. It really is. You have to be careful. If you don't have some discipline, you'll get lost in the sauce real quick.